Hello, my friends. I'm Bee, and this is Bee's Intuition. And you may or may not notice that today we're outside, and I'm so super happy. And I'm at my favorite spot. This is great. I've been waiting for this all winter. Oh my gosh. I did walk through some snow and ice to get to this spot, but I'm very grateful for that because that means that it's most likely going to deter a lot of people. So there'll be less likelihood that there'll be like background noises and people like yelling and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I just stabbed myself in the face with my nail. Anyways, I'm just super happy, and this is wonderful, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm so happy to be back outside for these readings. Oh my gosh. Oh, anyways, I should probably tell you the theme of the reading, right? That would be helpful. Um, so let's see. What about you, the collective, makes you a star? Because I do believe that we all have our talent, skills, abilities that we're really good at. It's just a matter of finding it, and everyone can be a star in their own way. So that's kind of the backstory, I guess, of this reading. So anyways, let's just dive right into it, okay? Please and thank you, Spirit. What makes the collective a star? Also, my hair might be absolutely insane because of the wind, but that's okay. That's not important. What's important is outside and reading. Those two things. We got those two things, we're doing good. Anyways, okay, there was one that flipped inside the deck. Let me see if I can locate it. Oh, of course now it's hiding. It's like, actually, you're crazy. There was never actually a card that flipped over. You're just absolutely insane, actually. Sounds like my ex-boyfriend. I can't believe you're, like, saying this right now. I thought there was another one. Maybe that was the only one. Okay. Well, let's see what else comes out. Please and thank you, Spirit. What makes the collective a star? A beautiful, beautiful star. A star in the sky, so high above me. Okay. Just double checking, making sure no others are flipped over. Yeah, I must be insane because I literally pictured a specific card that flipped over, but it's not here. So I'm insane. It was the Page of Cups that I saw in my mind, I guess. I literally thought it was there, flipped over, but I guess not. I guess not. I guess not. Okay. Let me show you what came out. We had the Six of Cups. All right. King of Swords. The Moon card. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. I can't stop smiling. I'm just like so happy right now to be outside and doing a tarot reading. Like my two favorite things. Like, are you kidding me? Anyways, at the bottom of the deck, surprisingly enough, is the Star card. So, I mean, that feels intentional. I feel like Spirit definitely wants to, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of stress the idea that you are a star. Something's very special about you. There's a certain light to your energy that I feel like people can pick up on. It's beautiful. You really do have a beautiful energy. Okay, so let's just start clarifying, shall we? Starting with the Six of Cups. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have for that Six of Cups as to what makes the collective a star? Anything else with the Six of Cups? All right. Let's see. Clarifying that Six of Cups, we have Temperance. That is Sagittarius energy, potentially. The Tower, Scorpio. Oh, we got the King of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so shaky today. Like my hands keep shaking whenever I try to hold something. It might just be low blood sugar or one of my chronic illnesses. I don't know. Anyways, the last one that came out for that Six of Cups is the Nine of Cups. We got some really good ones here. Why does my hair feel weird? I feel like the parting got messed up in the wind, but anyways, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Focus on the reading, P. Okay, so this is all clarifying the Six of Cups. And just seeing the Six of Cups right off the bat, trying to lay down or weigh down these cards so they don't go blowing away. Anyways, yeah, so the Six of Cups that we're clarifying here has something to do with like the memory of you. You make a really great impact in the lives of other people, and the impact that you leave, I feel like either doesn't go away, or people will think about what you've done for them or how you interacted with them for a really, really long time. For a long time after that interaction took place. Like something is very beautiful about the way you interact with others, and it leaves an impact. The Temperance card being the first one that comes out, I think that you have this way to transmute negative energy into positive energy, and that is a special ability that you're able to do. And I honestly feel like there could be something about how people really admire your ability to do that. You're also very healing, like a healing presence to be around. People pick up on that as well. But I feel like there's something about you leading by example here with that Temperance card. I feel like you have like these skills and abilities that I feel like you've probably been developing for quite some time. But on the surface, people just see it as the finished product, you know? And I feel like you have like a lot of secrets to your success or your journey in some way. And other people want to learn those secrets. But I don't think they're really secrets with you. I think that you're pretty open and honest. I feel like the kind of energy of like, if you ask me, I will answer. You know what I mean? It's like maybe you're not going to just walk around saying, I know this, I know that, blah, blah, blah. I feel like you're kind of the person to wait until somebody actually asks you, like directly or something. I'm not getting a show-offy vibe from you at all. So you're probably just like, yeah, I got these things and I know how to do these things, but I'm not gonna walk around like, I'm so cool because I know these things. Like, people may not know until they ask you. The Tower. You're a life changer to a lot of people. And this kind of goes back to like my message about people think about you for a long time after. Like, you probably shake up people's lives to such an extent that they never go back to the same way. You know, this is a very specific circumstance, but I feel like I'm getting this storyline in my mind of like this. Yeah, this will just be an example, but say you are you and you're interacting with somebody that may be in some sort of relationship that may not be necessarily toxic, may not be necessarily abusive, and so this person that's interacting with you could be holding on to that relationship not for any reason other than it's there and might as well. But it's like when they interact with you, and maybe the way that you live your life, you're not that kind of person. You're probably somebody that keeps people in your life because you genuinely want them to be there, and not just because, well, nothing better's there, so I guess that's fine. Like, no, I don't think that's you. And so it's almost like when people encounter you and the way that you live your life, the perspective you have on your life, it inspires them to do similar. And also, I feel like it opens their mind to see, wow, like these areas of my life, I'm kind of allowing people to stay, even though they're not really bringing anything to my life. Sure, they're not actively hurting me, but does that mean that like you're compatible with that person, or that, you know, that's a healthy relationship dynamic that you have? Like, I feel like you help people realize those areas in which they may be being passive. Yes, it's like you shine the light on people's. Okay, I'm getting dirty laundry, but it's almost like spring cleaning. I don't know why that's popping up in my mind, but it's almost like your energy is so clean that you and I mean this, I think, on a spiritual level. Like, you have very clean vibes, and I feel like that's a lot because of how you do life, um, and you kind of clear out your energy naturally, I think, because you remove people that are either leeching off of you or, you know, may not be contributing anything to your life. And then it helps people see the areas in which they are being passive and not in, like, it's like, yeah, it's like something about like them not being an active participant in their own life. You help people to see that they're doing that kind of stuff, and it's almost like they could have ignored that for the rest of their life and just like gone on with these connections, relationships that aren't serving them, not really making them happy. They could have gone their whole life in that way, but it's like you interrupt that cycle for these people. And I feel like this could even be like, you don't even have to be going into a relationship with these people to make that much of an impact. It could literally just be a one-time encounter of, like, you know, bumping into a grocery store and having a conversation or something. Like, it's not, it doesn't have to mean that you have known this person for a long time in order for them to change, or for them to sorry, I'm getting distracted by the geese and the hawk that's flying above. I swear, if this hawk takes one of the geeses, I'm not going to be prepared mentally for that, or emotionally. I'm hoping that it sees a mouse or something where I can't see it. Anyways, I don't know why that's where my brain is going. Pretty much you influence people to make better choices and to be a way more active participant in their own life. You ignite that in people. And I think that's one of the ways that you change people's lives forever when they encounter you. Like I said, it could be the smallest interaction, but you help people to see things from a different point of view, and they realize what they're kind of, and it's not necessarily what they're doing wrong in life, but rather like those areas where it's like nothing may be necessarily wrong, but I'm not fulfilled, you know? And I'm actively avoiding what makes me feel most fulfilled. You help people realize that. And then we have the King of Pentacles. You have like this authority presence about you, but you're also at the same time very calm. You're very down to earth. I feel like you're easy to talk to, but you also have this like, you might have like a slight seriousness to you, or maybe just in specific contexts. Yeah, like you're very professional when need be. I am getting a little bit of like a no-nonsense energy with the King of Pentacles, but not unfairly no nonsense. I feel like maybe it's like in specific environments, situations, you're like, you have expectations of like professionalism and you'll expect that, but maybe on your free time, you're just kind of go with the flow, kind of like, you know, whatever. That's the kind of energy I'm getting with that. You're also seen as somebody that's incredibly stable. People could see you as somebody that's very confident or very secure within themselves or very like accepting of yourself. People really look up to you. I feel like you have this power that maybe you don't even realize you have, this power to influence others. Um, yeah, it's like because of your powerful presence, the way in which you come across in the 3D, people will take what you have to say seriously. And I honestly feel like you kind of give them, you don't give them the option to treat you unseriously, if you know what I mean. Like you know your worth, your value, and so you're not going to stick around for people that are disrespecting you, is the energy I'm getting. And because you act that way, I feel like it makes a really positive impact on other people because you're also kind of setting an example. Um, and the way that you come across in the 3D is like, wow, if this works for them and they're like their life is looking really awesome, then maybe I could start doing those types of things too. And maybe my life would end up looking just as awesome, you know? I feel like you have a very inspirational sort of energy. And then the Four of Pentacles. Some people may get very clingy with you. Some people, this is interesting. I'm actually getting it as like two opposing messages. It's almost like people can cling to you and maybe even slightly depend on you in their life to a certain degree. They may feel like they can't do life without you, certain people. You definitely could be one of those people that like exes love to reach out to, like after a few years have passed and they're like, hey, you still mad at me? Or, you know, hey, I realized I made the biggest mistake of my life and, you know, I bet you don't want anything to do with me. Like, you know, those kinds of messages. You probably are somebody that gets those from your exes. Or you would, because like I think I'm also tapping into the type of person that would block those types of people, especially if they're toxic. So maybe if they weren't blocked, they would try to reach out to you. uh, yeah. So yeah, that's one side of that Four of Pentacles message. But then the other side is I feel like people on the other end of the spectrum are very closed off to you. And maybe even slightly it's a weird feeling. It's like they're okay, I think I get the message now. Thank you, Spirit. And this kind of goes back to the message I was getting with the Tower card, I think. Where it's like you sort of just bring about change with you naturally through interactions with you. And then it's like some people, though, they don't want to see the areas in which they can or should change. Because change is something very scary to a lot of people, especially people that are not spiritually awoken. And that's not to like say that like spiritual people are like the best or whatever. But I tend to see that people that are more spiritually attuned, they roll with change much easier than those that may not have a strong spiritual structure to kind of give them stability. Well, maybe not necessarily. I'm sure there's people out there that are not necessarily spiritual, but maybe their way of spirituality and that sense of strength comes from within. And like kind of like you are the god of your own life and you have the power to create things. So there could be that other side of things, I suppose. But pretty much because you bring about change, and that's something that your energy is really good at, certain people, like I'm literally getting like the Four of Pentacles, like the Rider-Waite tarot deck depiction, where the guy's like holding his pentacle and kind of really closed off like that. It's like these people, like say it's like something really toxic, or because it's also like some people don't want to admit that they have more control over certain situations. And I'm not trying to say that everybody has control over everything, because that's not true. But like, there's certain things that we do have more control over or with, but we convince ourselves that it's something that we can't control. And then it kind of keeps us in this negative cycle or loop here. And so I feel like people don't want to do the work. They don't want to look at their skeletons in their closet. They don't want to see that. So they will purposely try to avoid you or avoid taking you seriously, or they'll just not listen to a word you say. They'll actively, and this could even come across too as maybe even people being slightly aggressive with you, because it's like you have this air of, well, for one, importance, but also of not being afraid of change. And that could also like trigger people and make them feel afraid, because it's like, I don't want change to come to my life because I've grown comfortable with where it's at, and I can't deal with anything that may change that, alter it, etc. So it's like, yeah, it's like either people are obsessed with you and cling on to you way too much, or I guess it could be both. Actually, most likely it's going to be both, to be honest. But yeah. Where was I going with that? I'm so distracted by the beautiful day outside. I'm just like, head empty, no thoughts. Let me think. What was my point with that? Yeah, pretty much people are afraid to change. People are afraid to improve, so they avoid you or sort of attack you to avoid you, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm definitely getting the energy of maybe like somebody that's like a little bit gossipy. They could start like rumors about you to get people to stop listening to you and what you have to say. They could, discredit everything you say to them, like, or make you feel bad for coming up with ideas or saying certain things. Yeah. That may be part of your experience. But anyways, moving on. The Nine of Cups. There's something about the happiness that you contain within yourself that I feel like other people are not sure how to get to that point. And I'm also kind of getting like, it's almost like people want to be around you so that that energy rubs off on them. They're hoping that because you're happy or you're building happiness in your life, it's like people want to be around you so that maybe some of that self-love or happiness, good positive energy rubs off on them. But I feel like that may have gotten you into certain situations though, where people like may not listen to your advice or actually do the things that you have done in order to achieve this improvement or where you're at in life in a positive way. And so people either expect you to do the work for them, or they're just hoping that merely being around you is enough to improve their life. And I feel like both of those are probably not true or misleading, or you know what I mean. So it's, yeah, it almost feels like maybe people almost want you to do the work for them rather than them taking responsibility and doing the work themselves. I'm also getting that people could see you as a wish fulfillment to them, but I don't know if that is necessarily true. Because it gives me the feeling of like soulmates almost. Maybe you have people that think that you're their soulmate, but it's but yeah, it's almost like a lot of people could think that you're their soulmate, but you kind of just aren't. It's just kind of your energy being really awesome. Maybe other people like you, And so there's certain things that set that up in their in these people's minds, that you're like their soulmate, that you're their wish fulfillment, when in all reality you might just be, you know, meant to just be their friend or an acquaintance or whatever. Um, but it doesn't feel like real love, and it doesn't really feel like real soulmate connection. It feels almost like these are just people that kind of want to just absorb your energy or take from you in hopes that you will fill some void in their life. People could really daydream about you, but again, like there's something about like not being in touch with reality for these people that see you as a wish fulfillment slash soulmate. It's like maybe they even project an ideal onto you of who they want somebody to be, and they go with that as being like, okay, this is who that person is, and therefore they are my soulmate. And it's like, but is that person actually who you believe them to be? Because I as much as I think it's romantic to believe in love at first sight, I don't think it's truly practical. And you know, for the people out there that it has worked like that, then that's great. But I think overall, we need time to develop love, and even to just realize compatibility. Um, but people may see you as somebody that's like love at first sight. It's like your first encounter with them. They're walking away from it like being like all googly eyed and like, wow, that person's amazing. I bet they're my soulmate. Like, we had such a connection. And it's like, you just have a wonderful energy, I think. And people may misunderstand that, slash project what they want you to be, and then kind of go based off of that assumption. And I feel like that could definitely make you feel odd. Because you know you're different. You know you're not that person that they think that you are. But it's almost like maybe you've even gotten into situations where you're like, okay, this is what this person expects of me, so I'll be all those things, I guess. Or maybe you've tried to hide your true self in certain connections or relationships because you know that that's not the version that that person wants you to be. Um, yeah, so you may feel a little bit hollow sometimes when it comes to love, because it feels like a misunderstanding, misdirection. Like it feels, you probably just feel like people don't really get you, you know? They don't really see you for who you are. They don't genuinely love who you are. They don't genuinely love, you know, your hobbies, your interests, your all that stuff. It's like it's rather just how you make them feel or what they want you to be in their life that they're going off of. And I feel like because of that, you could feel very disappointed in certain love situations, or maybe all love situations. Maybe you're somebody that has literally never had a genuine relationship in the way of like being loved for who you truly are rather than who they want you to be. And that's kind of sad, but I feel like you've learned though how to make your own happiness, and so you do not have to depend on other people for that fulfillment. Because it's like, yeah, you don't want to be in a situation where you're forced into a box or cookie cutter. Like, you don't want to be anyone else other than you. And so maybe you're waiting for the right person that sees you for who you are and likes that, loves that, you know? And doesn't try to change you, doesn't try to project an ideal onto you. Yeah. Okay. I love that, like, when I'm outside, the downloads come through just so much easier than the messages do. Okay. I forgot to show you what's at the bottom of the deck. This is the Chariot. I feel like there's something about the way in which you act or take action in your pursuits that is very inspirational for other people. There's some sort of courageousness or dog's freaked out by a baby stroller. Dogs hate things on wheels. I love it. They're just like, I don't trust those little wheels. Anyways, yeah, so people love the way that you take action, the way in which you go about your path, pursuing your destiny. Very inspirational. People like, if you're sharing your story with people, they could definitely really be like, wow, you're very inspirational. You like maybe been through a lot, or the way in which you do your life is very inspirational to other people. Okay, let's go on to the King of Swords now. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have for that King of Swords as to what makes the collective a star? A star. Okay, so one definitely did flip over. Let's throw that. Okay, I think that was it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, first card we have for the King of Swords, we got the Queen of Pentacles. Well, the combination of the King of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles, I think that not only are you very powerful in multiple different ways and maybe multiple different areas of your life, it's like you're very logical when it comes to the 3D. I don't know exactly how to explain the message, but that's kind of the message. It's like, because it's like, I don't think that you're not a spiritual person. I think you're very spiritual. But it's almost like when it comes to the 3D, you are maybe realistic. Maybe before you were idealistic, and now you're kind of like going over to the other side where you're like trying to be more realistic, especially when it comes to interactions with other people, what to expect from other people even. Definitely could be also in terms of finances, you're very logical. Or building up your own abundance or your own self-worth. You're very logical about that. Yeah, or like when you are trying to find stability, you think very logically about it. Anyways, the other cards we have the Knight of Wands. So that I'm actually getting in a funny kind of way, because it's like the Knight of Wands is known for being a flirt. But I honestly am getting the energy from you that you may just have this sort of energy about you where people kind of assume that you're flirting, but you're not actually. Maybe you're very nice, and so like people just think that because you're smiling at them, you're making eye contact, like they're like, oh yeah, so this person's clearly into me or trying to flirt with me, and it's like, no, I'm just trying to have a conversation, trying to be nice. Yeah, I think you make it like a yeah, it's like a fake reputation of being a player or being a flirt. And I don't think that is true at all for who you are, but I feel like some people could assume that, either based off of the way you look, the way you present yourself, the way you talk, the way you make eye contact or don't make eye contact. Like, it's like the stuff, like it feels like somebody's like trying and failing to read between the lines when it comes to you. It's like, yeah, this could definitely be for people that like are not very deep or don't really look deeply into things. It's like they could just see you on a surface level and be like, yeah, that's a player, or that's a flirt, or that's whatever. But then you're like, I'm not at all that way actually. And maybe at some points you're like, why do people think this of me? And I really don't think that there's any other, like, there's not really a good reason why people like think that of you, rather than yeah, honestly it could definitely be just people that don't know a lot about you, so they're kind of putting these labels on you, projecting onto you, because they don't actually know what's going on, or they don't actually know what you're like. So they're like, yeah, that person's a player, I can tell from a mile away. And they're like, and you're like the opposite. You're like, okay, I've been with one person my whole entire life, but sure, let's go with that. But anyways, yeah, so I feel like you get like word on the street is you're a player, but I don't think that that's who you are at all, is what I'm getting with that Knight of Wands. Then we have the Three of Swords. You have experienced a lot of pain, especially in love, or people that have been close to you, because I also get with the Three of Swords like familial trauma, maybe, or familial pain from like people that were supposed to be trustworthy in your life. Um, I think because you have this pain of the past within you, there's a certain depth to your eyes, and it makes people very curious about your past. Like it's like even when you're smiling, somebody that's sensitive, I should say, would be able to gauge that something there's something more to you. But I feel like yeah, maybe not everybody feels that vibe or sees that in your eyes. Um, but I feel like a good amount of people could definitely pick up on that. Or if people just know your past, they're like, this person's been through a lot. Wow, it's crazy to think that, they're doing so well because after they went through that kind of stuff. I think that you're strong, you're resilient, and that is something that definitely leaves an impact in the lives of other people. I'm getting like this energy of like no nonsense in relationships. And I feel like that could be as a result of your pain. You're probably really good with boundaries, and it's because you kind of had to learn how to build boundaries or set boundaries, put up boundaries with other people. Yeah. But it's like your pain of the past just makes you more beautiful, I think. I'm getting an image in my mind of a mosaic. And for those that may not know what a mosaic is, to my knowledge, it's like broken pieces of like pottery or tiles or, you know, those types of things. And then you kind of paste them all together to kind of make a collage of sorts, um, piece of art with those broken pieces. And I feel like that's kind of you. You may have fallen apart in the past. You may have had people that wanted to break you down. Maybe some of them did break you down. But with those broken pieces, you've been able to breathe new life into them. And you have made your pain transform into beauty. It's very beautiful. I really like that energy a lot. And then we have the moon card. You're very mysterious. There's something about you that is like mysterious, also kind of intimidating at the same time. And it's almost like maybe because people don't know what's going on inside your mind, they may kind of assume the worst. Honestly, I think it's because you're silent. And I feel like it kind of goes back to what I was getting with the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Swords. It was like, you're practical, you're logical when it comes to things in the 3D. And I think that you're smart with your energy. You're not going to just like chatter to just anyone or share certain things with just anyone. But because you're selective, it kind of creates this mystery. And that makes people super curious to get to know you, get to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. You're probably really good at hiding your feelings or hiding your thoughts. I'm getting poker face. Like you probably have like a really strong poker face. But yeah, I do think that, that's where I was going with that. So when you're silent, people fill in that silence with their own stuff inside of their mind and stuff. And typically it's like their own fears. Like from what I've noticed, it's like some people may perceive a silence as being some sort of attack against them, or they could perceive silence as contemplation. Like there's so many ways in which people could perceive that silence, and that's why um, it typically is a example of who kind of holds the power in any sort of dynamic. The person that's silent, the person that's quiet, because we can't read what they're thinking, feeling, etc. And so some people may attack you for that, or maybe they like that about you. But I think it definitely could bring out people's personal fears, because it's like if you're silent with certain people, they could feel like that's a sign of rejection, and they could take that very personally. Yeah, so it's like what they don't know about you is scary because they don't know it about you. Like they don't know what you're capable of. Maybe that's what it is. But there is like you have an edge to you, I think. Like although like people I think typically like you and like being around you, there's also like maybe a slight little fear. They're like, I don't know why, but I'm kind of scared of this person. And going back to the no nonsense message, that could literally be what it is. It's like you're no nonsense and you conserve your energy, so people are just like, oh my gosh, this person's so scary. Or, they'll make up their own story about you. And then we have the Queen of Wands. This is the last one that came out for the King of Swords. The Queen of Wands is a very confident energy, very attractive energy. I do think that you come across as somebody that is incredibly confident in yourself. I don't know if you feel that way, or, I mean, everybody has their off days where they're just like, I'm not feeling super confident, whatever. But people typically perceive you as somebody that's incredibly confident. And that could be something that people find very attractive about you, your confidence. But there's also like a self-certainty is what I'm getting. Like there's something about how you are maybe confident in your skills and abilities, or a certain area of your life. You're like, I know that I know this and I'm good at it. And people really respond well to that. There's something about like what to do in a given situation, and that's very attractive to other people, especially people that may not know what to do. Maybe they turn to you. You could be the person with the answers for sure, because this is all clarifying the King of Swords. King of Swords is a very knowledgeable person, has a lot going on in their mind. You could be somebody that's an overthinker. You could be somebody that has way too many thoughts going through your mind all day, every day. But I like that combination of the King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and Queen of Wands, because it's like you have many complexities to you. You have different parts to you. Not everybody gets to see all of your parts. And I think that's what leads to that feeling of mystery for sure. But you're very dynamic and complex, and I feel like people can pick up on that with you, even if you don't say a word. Like, you're very unique, definitely. And with that unique message, I'm getting like maybe people even see you as somebody that they could never find another version of you, or they could never move on from you because you're just so unique. Bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Cups. So we saw that Six of Cups earlier that we clarified. And now that that's coming up again, I do feel like you are very kind. You impact people in a very positive way. People really love the way that you make them feel. They remember how you make them feel. I'm also getting that there's something about the inner child here as well. You make their inner child feel safe with you. Maybe you bring out people's inner child. Maybe you have like a lighthearted sort of energy and it helps other people feel very lighthearted. You bring out something in other people that they love. Like maybe you also help people to see the parts that they love about themselves, because it's so hard to find those, in this society that we live in, finding our own skills or, things to love about ourselves. We're kind of taught to not have those thoughts and feelings about ourselves, and we're supposed to constantly be improving ourselves and struggling. But maybe you tell people what their good qualities are, and it inspires them or helps them feel special or helps them in some way. I feel like you're good at like helping people to see what they're good at or what's special about them. You can make people feel very special just by simply interacting with them. Okay, now let's go on to the moon card and clarify that. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have for the collective with that moon card as to what makes them a star? What makes them a star? What makes the collective a star? Please and thank you, Spirit. Ooh. Okay. 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 Doggy. I love dogs so much, dude. I don't know why people get frustrated with dogs for barking. Like, I may be weird, but I love the sound of a dog's bark. It's so cute. It's like, yes, sir. You tell that postman. Anyways. Okay, so clarifying that moon card, we have the Three of Cups, Five of Swords, Six of Cups, Six of Wands. Repeating sixes could definitely be significant. Knight of Cups. And I keep forgetting to show you the bottom of the deck, so let me see what that is. Eight of Cups. Okay. So, the moon card that this is all clarifying, I think is kind of that mystery that I was talking about. The air of mystery that you have, that people pick up on. And so these cards that came out to clarify the moon card, I feel like these are kind of explaining maybe the things that people don't always see when it comes to you. People could be in the dark when it comes to these certain qualities about you. Anyways, so starting out with the Three of Cups. You're a community person. You're somebody that craves community or likes to feel like you belong in some way to maybe a group or subculture or community. You could be a really awesome friend, and maybe people don't know that unless they're a friend of yours. You could also be somebody that loves to celebrate things. I'm getting like, maybe you're even somebody that celebrates the accomplishments of other people, and like you get just as excited about their wins as they do. And that could be another reason why you're such a good friend to people, is because you have that ability to be happy for them just as much as you would be happy if you yourself got that blessing, you know? You make your friends feel very special and very good, and I feel like those who have or are your friends, like if those who have been or currently are your friends, I feel like they speak really positively about you. The Five of Swords coming after that. You've been through a lot of battles. You've been through a lot of pain. You've also, I'm getting just straight up the word abused. So you probably have been abused in some way. I'm sorry for that. Honestly, I'm getting it's probably something to do with your kindness, your heart, your sensitivities. People could have attacked you for those things, made you feel stupid for those things. Yeah. People have not been very kind to you overall. But you've learned from those battles. You've gained experience through those battles. And that experience leads to wisdom and knowledge. And I feel like you haven't let those pains of the past weigh you down or hold you back. And that's very significant. So maybe people don't see that you've been through a lot because of the way that you show up in the 3D. But if they learn about your past, they're going to see that you've been through a lot. But you don't stay in that victim mindset. You don't stay in that period of like, oh, you know, my life sucks. It's never going to get better. Everything's the same, blah, 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 blah. You've used those past situations to improve yourself and your life. I also find it very interesting that the Six of Cups is following that Five of Swords, as if to say, how do I word this? You may sort of hide, maybe, those past pains, and I don't know, because like that kind of gives it like a bad sort of, that kind of to me seems like it could be perceived as a negative thing, the word hide, you know? But it's like maybe you just don't see it as necessary to bring it up. Like you're just like, yeah, I've been through some stuff, but I'm over it. Like I'm moving on with my life, you know, keeping it going. You show up in the 3D as somebody that's very kind, warm, and loving and giving. And it feels like that's in direct contrast to your experiences of the past. You know what it's like to be on the receiving end of pain, or people mistreating you. And so it's like you want to show up as the opposite sort of energy to counteract that. And I think that makes a huge impact on other people. And it's very beautiful, very unique. That ability to kind of not let your past pains impact how you're showing up in the present moment. And then we have the Six of Wands. So I think it's partially due to your ability to do all of that, overcome those pains of the past. That is setting you up for success. That's the Six of Wands, success. I think that success is coming into your life. And because this is clarifying the Moon card, it's something that people don't see the 3D proof of yet. So either you don't see the 3D proof of this success or other people around you don't see it. But then it's like, I feel like what will inevitably happen is it's so obvious, the success that you're experiencing, that no one can ignore your success, not even you. So it's like, I feel like something, and honestly, with the whole like theme of this reading, maybe there is something that you're coming into that is going to make you feel like a star in your own right. Like something, maybe you're embracing something that will bring about a lot of success for you. And people will see that, and you'll see that, and you'll be like, yeah, I did that. People could also feel like through your energy that like you're meant for success in some way, like this sort of vague, undefined energy behind you of like, yeah, that person's going places. Yeah, there's a lot about like your mentality, the way you think, that is creating your reality. I think that this is something that you definitely have learned. Like, okay, what's going on in my mind reflects in my reality. And so I feel like through more positive ways of thinking, through more, I get knocked down, I get up again, you know that song? That's the energy. It's like, yeah, you may be getting knocked down here and there, but you're not letting it hold you back. And it's like a can-do attitude is what I'm getting. And maybe that can-do attitude is like deep within you. So for some of you, you may have not tapped into that can-do attitude yet, but some of you, I think, have. And that is definitely setting you up for success. Yeah, more positive ways of thinking in general as well. Then the Knight of Cups came out. This is the last one that came out for that Moon card. To me, that's hitting me as like a hopeless romantic. Maybe people don't know this about you, but I think you have a very romantic sensibility. I feel like you are probably somebody that is very romantic, or at least believes in like true love. I don't know if you would like admit that in certain company, because like maybe certain people might think that that's kind of like, you know, oh, that's BS, or whatever. But yeah, I think you're very much a hopeless romantic, and you're just like, I love to love, I love to feel loved, I love to um, give love. I feel like you're definitely a giver when it comes to love. That could be actually something that you're trying to improve on, is like maybe you're the one that usually gives in a certain situation, but maybe now you're stepping into a more of a role of like, I'm gonna actually let people come to me. Like instead of me always putting in the effort and trying to get these people's attention, I'm gonna just let them come to me, because this is under the moon card, so more than likely you don't really show up in this sort of like lover boy, lover girl energy. But it's there, you know? And maybe certain people that are willing to look under the surface see that hopeless romantic, or maybe there's glimpses here and there. Yeah. I do like that though, because like it feels like you are very much a lover at heart. And then Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. You're somebody that is not afraid of prioritizing themselves, and that is incredibly powerful and beautiful. Um, if things are not serving you, if things are holding you back, you walk away from those things, you look for new things. That will be way more fulfilling for you. People really admire that about you. And maybe not everybody knows how difficult that can be. Maybe they see that in your story that you did all that, but they don't really realize the amount of like pain you had to go through, difficulties, struggle, etc. There is something about you feeling like your future looks way brighter than your past, and I think that's the right way to go. I think that's exactly what's going on. Your past probably was really heavy and hard. Um, that's what she said. Okay. Anyways, but you have faith in yourself and in your future, I feel. Yeah. Again, it may just be really deep within you, that optimism, because sometimes we need some time, effort to really get into that energy of optimism, which I do believe that we all have within us. It's just a matter of tapping into it, or letting ourselves believe in it, because that's a whole nother thing too, is like optimism isn't, scientifically proven to be effective. Like we're so stuck in the 3D with certain mindsets and stuff that maybe certain people are afraid to be optimistic, because it's like, what if I'm wrong? What if there's no good outcomes for being optimistic, etc., etc. Um, but I think that there is goodness that comes from being optimistic, and it can and will affect things in your life. Okay, let's go clarify that Queen of Pentacles. Please and thank you, Spirit. What makes the collective such a star with that Queen of Pentacles? Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you got for that Queen of Pentacles? Please and thank you, Spirit. One flipped over. Two flipped over. Let's see. Anything else for that Queen of Pentacles? Please and thank you, Spirit. Alrighty, so 2 cards came out for that Queen of Pentacles. We have Two of Wands, the Fool card. So I'm getting that practical aspect to you again. There's something very practical about you. And with that Two of Wands, I feel like you're practical in terms of your plans for the future. I'm getting this message about like, even like, say you look at your life and you realize that something's missing, you're the type of person to be like, okay, how can I get towards that? Or how can I move slowly towards that thing that I want? Or, you know, how can I make this situation more ideal than my current situation? Like, there's something very logical about you, and I think, like, you're, because it's like also something to do with like your goals, your goal setting. Like, I feel like you have a way to maybe break things up into smaller bits so that they're more digestible. Maybe you're somebody that believes in baby steps. Um, yeah, there's something about the way in which you do that kind of stuff that is very important or special. Yeah. And then the Fool card, I feel like that's talking about how you're open to change. And I feel like that could definitely be part of why you are. Um, Sorry, there's people trying to get my attention from across the river, but I'm recording, so. Um, I don't know them either. I think it's just somebody that's being silly. Um, but yeah, there's an optimism about you and an openness when it comes to change. Not everybody has that. Not everybody is okay with change. Not everybody is open to change. Something about new beginnings. You love a new beginning. Oh, yes, I was getting like spirituality. Your spirituality could definitely be part of why you're not afraid of change, why you're not afraid of new beginnings. Um, Maybe you've gotten to the point in your self work where you're like, you know, the unknown, instead of it scaring you and allowing you to, you know, think of a million reasons why something could not turn out the right way or whatever. But instead of that, it's like you're able to think about all of the ways in which something could turn out right. And that's what you lean into. People see that about you. Like, I feel like you kind of accept change in your life. There's something about you really going with the flow here with that Queen of Pentacles that this is all clarifying. I feel like you're definitely somebody that rolls with the punches. You're somebody that really kind of like goes with the flow of things. Like, you look for, you know, the path of least resistance, but not in a way of like staying in a comfort zone, but rather just like, if something is opening up to you, you just go that way. And if you're seeing that that's not paying off, you go a different way. Like, I feel like it's just like a very chill, go with the flow, trusting spirit, trusting in yourself, what you got going on, and knowing that everything's going to work out exactly as it should. Yeah, I feel like you have trust in yourself and you have trust in spirit. People could be very wowed by that because I feel like that is a very unique quality to have. Simply just not being afraid of change is a huge one that many people don't have. And then bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Swords. So I think that your thoughts, the way you speak, the information you contain, these are all things that make you a star here. You have a beautiful brain. You know how to use it. You could be incredibly creative. I'm getting that there's something very unique about your perspective of things that changes the lives of other people around you. Like, simply sharing your opinion opens up other people's minds or ways of being or seeing things. That is so beautiful. You could also encourage other people to think outside the box, because I feel like you're an out of the box sort of thinker. And so you could encourage other people to also think outside the box. And then that star card at the bottom of the deck, so like, Again, there's like something about your energy that is very healing. You're tapped into the to spirit. You have a strong connection to the divine. I feel like there's something about you doing something huge in the way of like you're not only improving yourself in your own life, but you're also trying to improve the lives of others, um, the lives of people around you, um, the collective in general. Like you're pouring not only into yourself, but you're also pouring into the collective, and that's going to make a big impact in the world. And that's something that people really see. And also like this energy of like you pouring so much into yourself that it overflows onto other people, and they get to see all of that loveliness and healing and beauty. Yeah, okay. So let's just dive right into the oracle, see if there's anything else to add to this beautiful reading. Please, Nikki Spirit, what else would you like to add to this reading for the collective? Any other messages? Maybe things to keep in mind? Helpful things? A chorus of geeses. Or geese. Let's just ask one more time. Please and thank you, Spirit. Anything else for extra messages for the collective? Thank you. Okay, beautiful. Ooh, baby, we got some good ones. These are beautiful messages right now. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. Wow. I'm just gonna say it. Whoever you are, your energy is immaculate here. And you're meant to be a star. Like, okay, let me just show you what came out so that you're not like in the dark. Lead came out, which, you know, I feel like that's pretty obvious. Like, you're meant to lead. You're meant to, and then the second card that came out is take the lead. I couldn't make this up if I tried. And then we have success and growth. Like, what are all these messages saying? That you are meant for success, that you are meant for greatness. And then bottom of the deck, we have believe and succeed. Like, all of these are indicating that you're on to something amazing here. Like, are you kidding me? This is insane. The lead card is supposed to be the Emperor in this deck. So you're meant to be in a position of power, and I'm not even trying to say that in a way of like world domination or something like that, but like just like you're gonna be in a position of influence. And I feel like maybe that's gonna be something that you sort of dig deep into yourself. What do you want to use that platform of influence for? What do you want to influence? What would you like to influence? You know, would you like to be a good influence? Would you like to be a bad influence? Hopefully a good influence. Sorry, there's people walking by now. Okay. But yeah, the take the lead card. Oh, yeah. So I think I was done with that last message, but take the lead card, I feel like that is definitely inspiring you or trying to motivate you, inspire you to maybe go outside of your comfort zone. Maybe you're not somebody that's super comfortable taking the lead, but you're being led to do just that. And I feel like Spirit wants you to do that. And I feel like that's part of your destiny, to really like take the lead in something, to set an example for other people to follow. And then success and growth, like literally you're gonna meet success and you're gonna grow beyond maybe even your comprehension of how far you can grow. You're meant for success. I'm also getting like you're meant for self-improvement as well. So maybe if you're just starting out your self-improvement journey, that could be like a message about like how you're on the right track and keep going. For others of you that are maybe further down the road and have been really working on themselves, I feel like Spirit's really proud of you, and I feel like that could also be leading to your success. Believe and succeed at the bottom of the deck, like literally. It's like if you believe that you will be successful, you will be successful. So definitely shift around those mindsets and thoughts around, you know, any sort of out of date narratives that you've created about like your ability to do certain things, the things that you're afraid to do, the things that you're not afraid to do. Um, but yeah, having confidence in yourself, believing in yourself, believing in your purpose, believing in your message to the world, I feel like that's gonna make such a huge impact and set you up for success at the end of the day. Like literally, it's so beautiful here. Like this is all gorgeous energy, and I couldn't have asked for a better reading. I say it's because I'm outside and spirit is stronger in nature. Anyways, so that is the reading I have for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I definitely did. Yeah, if it resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.